In December 2025, a Bentley was auctioned with 703 miles on the clock. It had cost $2 million new. It sold for $876,000. The owner lost $1.1 million on a car he had barely driven. At the end of this video, I'll tell you why that was not a mistake. Level 1. The Bentayga. About $207,000. The Bentayga is the entry point into Bentley. And the most complicated sentence the brand has to say out loud? Which is that its best-selling car is an SUV. Not complicated because the Bentayga is anything other than extraordinary. It is comfortable, refined, powerful, and finished to a standard that makes competing products feel like they were assembled with different priorities. Complicated because the identity of Bentley, grand touring, effortless velocity, the long-distance British tradition of driving exceptionally fast in exceptional silence, is not, on its surface, an SUV proposition. Bentley resolved this tension the way Porsche resolved it with the Cayenne, by making the SUV so good that buyers stopped asking the question. The Bentayga generates more revenue than any other model in the lineup. It funds the Continental GT, the Flying Spur, the Batur, and the coach-built future. The buyer here is not conflicted about this. She drives it daily, parks it at school. It is the best car she has ever owned. It happens to be built by a company that once won at Le Mans. Both facts coexist without difficulty. Level 2. The Continental GT. About $245,000. The car that put Bentley back on the map in 2003, and the one that every serious buyer knows is the real entry point into what the brand actually means. Before the Continental GT, Bentley was a company on life support, the Rolls-Royce sibling that nobody quite believed in, selling small numbers of cars that were magnificent but not relevant. Volkswagen Group acquired Bentley in 1998 and gave it 5 years and enormous resources to produce something that would define the brand for a generation. The Continental GT was that car. The 2026 Continental GT runs a new hybrid powertrain producing 771 combined horsepower. It will reach 60 miles per hour in under 3.5 seconds and cruise at 208 miles per hour. It is a 2+2 Grand Tour that weighs over 2 tons and travels at supercar pace with less drama than a hot hatch. A realistically optioned Continental GT lands between $280,000 and $310,000. The base price of $245,000 is what the brochure says. The options page is what the buyer actually reads. Level 3, the Flying Spur. $225,000 to $275,000. The Flying Spur is the Bentley that gets driven the most. Its owners average nearly twice the annual mileage of Continental GT owners, which says something precise about the difference between the two cars and the two kinds of people who buy them. The Continental GT is the car you choose. The Flying Spur is the car your life requires. 4 proper doors. A rear seat in which a 6-foot adult sits without performing a feat of compression. The Flying Spur Speed adds approximately $50,000 to the base price and a different character. Sport-tuned. More assertive. Less interested in insulating the driver from the road. Bentley offers both because its customers have opposite needs. One wants to be delivered, one wants to arrive. The genius of the Flying Spur is that the same car serves both with a specification change. Level 4, Mulliner. At Level 4, there is no new model. There is a department. Mulliner is Bentley's personalization and coach-building division, and it traces its history to carriage builders operating in England before the automobile existed. The Mulliner Bentayga EWB, the extended wheelbase version with Mulliner specification, runs to approximately $420,000. The extended wheelbase adds sufficient rear legroom to position this car as a competitor to the Rolls-Royce Cullinan rather than a luxury SUV. The airline-style rear seats, available as an option, recline to an angle that makes the distinction between flying and driving feel academic. The insight at Level 4 is about what the buyer is actually commissioning. not a car with a nicer color. A singular object that reflects a conversation that happened once between one person and a team of craftspeople in Crewe, England, and that will not be repeated in exactly that form again. The price of Mulliner is partly the craft, partly the conversation, partly the knowledge that the thing you are driving was made for you in a way that mass production, even at $400,000, cannot deliver. In 1919, a man named Walter Owen Bentley built his first car in a London garage. He believed that a car should be a fast car made better, not a fast car, not a luxury car, both simultaneously in one object. He built cars that won at Le Mans 4 consecutive times starting in 1927. He also nearly went bankrupt doing it. Rolls-Royce bought Bentley in 1931. Vickers Group owned it for decades. Volkswagen Group bought it in 1998 for approximately £430 million. The company that exists today is the most commercially successful version of Bentley in its history. It is also, depending on your perspective, either the fulfillment of what W.O. Bentley was trying to build, or the thing he built being used to sell very expensive school-run vehicles to very comfortable people. Both perspectives are defensible. Both are probably correct. Level 5. The Batur. $2.1 million, 18 units, already sold before the first one was delivered. The Batur is the current apex of Bentley Mulliner coach building, a coupe, based on the Continental GT platform, but carrying entirely new bodywork, an entirely new interior brief, and the most powerful W12 engine Bentley has ever produced. It was designed not as a performance statement, but as a design statement. The 18 buyers were involved in the design process. Their input influenced the final specification. 50 special edition versions of the Batur's bespoke color palette were also made available to existing customers, not as commissions, but as an acknowledgement that some buyers will always want to be adjacent to the rarest thing, even if they cannot have the thing itself. This is excellent commercial judgment. Level 6. The Bacalar. $1.9 million, 12 units. The Bacalar came before the Batur. Interior trim sourced from trees felled in East Anglia 5,000 years ago. The only two-seat Bentley built since 1930. Bentley has been building cars for over 100 years. In that entire time, it has produced exactly two two-seaters. The first was before the company existed in its modern form. The second is the Bacalar. 12 people in the world can say they own one. The rest of us can look at photographs. And here is the answer I promised at the start of this video. In December 2025, one of those 12 Bacalars was auctioned in Abu Dhabi with 703 miles on the clock. It had cost approximately $2 million new. It sold for $876,000. The owner lost $1.1 million on a car he had barely used. Was that a mistake? Only if the purpose of the Bacalar was financial. The Bacalar was sold before it was built, to people for whom $2 million is a meaningful but not life-defining sum, who understood at the point of commission that they were not buying an investment vehicle. The car depreciated by $1.1 million. The experience of owning it, whatever that was for its owner. Level 7. The Blower. The 1931 Bentley 4.5-liter. Supercharged blower sold at auction in 2022 for $9.6 million. It was built 91 years before the sale. It was designed by a man who wanted to build the fastest car in the world that was also comfortable enough to drive there and back. It ran at Le Mans. It won nothing. It is now worth $9.6 million. It is valuable for its provenance, for the specific moment in automotive history it represents, the specific engineering philosophy it embodies, the specific argument it makes about what a car should be. Not the fastest, not the most reliable, the most committed, the most itself. Bentley has never made the fastest car. It has never made the most practical car. It has never made the cheapest luxury car or the most technologically advanced or the most efficient. It has consistently made the car that most completely commits to being what it is. A grand tourer, a statement of unhurried confidence, a machine that travels at speed without appearing to. W.O. Bentley wanted to build the fastest car in the world that was also worth driving at any speed. He almost went bankrupt doing it, sold the company to a competitor, and watched his creation become something he never intended. The company that exists today makes more cars, earns more money, and employs more people than anything he could have imagined in that London garage in 1919. The Bacalar has 5,000-year-old wood in its dashboard. The blower has 91 years of losing at Le Mans embedded in its price tag. Both of them are worth exactly what someone decided they were worth, which is, it turns out, the only valuation that has ever mattered for any Bentley.